Good morning, man.
I know we talk about this every year around this time, but what's the challenge of facing a team with two new coordinators? There's not a whole lot of film out there of them.
Yeah, it's like this every year, week one. No matter who you're playing, if they do have a lot of film, you just have to prepare for unscouted looks. You got to trust your rules. Everybody makes tweaks around the league, or I should say, most teams make some tweaks around the league in the off season. But certainly, I would expect that these new coordinators are going to have their own flavor to what they want to do and what their identity is going to be.
Matt, starting with this team in general at home, they've obviously won the last two NFC North. You beat them once the last 3 seasons. How much time do you spend in the offseason thinking about pursuing them specifically, and what does it mean to start?
I think it always starts with your division. So it's not just Detroit, but certainly they've been the standard the last 2 seasons in this league, and I've got a lot of respect for what they've been able to accomplish. Got a lot of respect for Dan, what he's been able to establish. So it's going to be a great challenge, but one I think that we're just going to prepare to the best of our ability each and every day to give us the best chance to go out there and have some success.
When you look at those divisional games from last year, was there a common thread in them in terms of what went wrong that caused the issues that you need to correct moving forward?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think with specifically Detroit, in both games that we played them, we got behind way too early, and that's hard to do against a really good football team. We had a couple costly turnovers, really, in both games that ended up being critical plays. So we've got to do a great job, really offensively in our return units, hanging on to that football. Defensively, we've got to make a game-changing play in some facet to be able to get the ball out. I think we had 1 interception in the 2 games last year on Keyshawn's pick, and so. But getting off to a fast start, I think, is critical when you're playing against a really good football team.
Matt, with them getting Hutchinson back, how does that change their defense?
A lot. I mean, you're talking about one of the premier players in the National Football League. So just going through and watching all his tape from last season, we didn't see him at all. I mean, the guy's a game wrecker, and it shows up all over the tape, whether he's just in both the run game and in the pass game. And I think that's pretty special to have a guy that's capable of doing that. But he's a relentless competitor. He works really hard, and he causes a lot of havoc, both in run and pass.
Do you feel good enough about where Mike is at with his back that you expect him to play on Sunday?
Well, we'll see. I mean, we're still he's doing everything in his power. He's rehabbing hard. We've got to get through a couple practices to see how he responds, to see how he does, but certainly hopeful.
Are you pads today or pads?
We are pads today. So no, not necessarily. I think it's going to be week to week in regards to how we do it, but when we're not coming off a game, typically we'll do the padded practices on Wednesday. Like, for example, after the Thursday night game, we'll do it again on a Wednesday. But if we're coming off a Sunday or Monday game, then we'll put them on Thursday.
Matt, Kenny was such a big part of your run defense. What challenges does this 1-2 punch of Gibbs and Montgomery bring?
Yeah, it's not only those 2 guys. I think it's the totality of the offense. Obviously, got a great offensive line. I know they got some new pieces in there. But you look at how the receivers block in the run game as well, and certainly when you got 2 backs as dynamic as those 2 guys, it presents a huge challenge. And anytime starting the run or stopping the run, it truly takes all 11. We need physicality at all 3 levels. Guys got to be able to defeat blocks. Guys got to make sure that they're playing their right gaps, because both these backs, if you give them a crease, they could go. So we've got to do a great job of just playing great team run defense. And it starts really by setting great edges.
Was Elton just getting a vet rest day on, was that Monday, or is there an issue there?
He will be limited in some capacity.
Does it help a quarterback find a receiver at all to have a nice round 0 on his chest?
Excuse me? Yeah. I don't care about numbers, so. That's what those guys, that's their deal. But what were you saying about the number?
Just a joke. It was a bad
Okay,
joke.
Okay, that's all
As
right.
far as his-
I'm really not in a joking mood right now, so I'm kind of like, I apologize.
I went
That's
for
on
it.
me. That's
It
on me.
failed.
That's on me.
As far as his development goes, though, how rare is it in your experience to see a rookie receiver? You know, Brian's talked the past couple of years about how 7-on-7 has helped to expedite their development, but a guy who's been able to be where he is coming into week one, is that fairly rare?
Well, I think it's a credit to him and certainly our coaches of getting him schooled up. I think Mahaffey and Vrabel do a great job in that room. And not only those two guys, but I got to give a lot of credit to our veteran players, you know, taking a guy like that under their wing and really truly trying to help him get acclimated and get up to speed as quickly as possible. So unfortunately, we've had a lot of guys miss time, but I would say the byproduct of that is he gets more opportunity, and he was able to take advantage of those opportunities throughout the course of not only the off-season program, but throughout training camp.
You're at home for the first time in your career for week one. Does that matter to you? I mean, you get 8 home games regardless. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think week one is the most playoff type atmosphere that you can come by. Just in terms of everybody, the excitement, the energy in the stadium. The fans are certainly going to be rowdy. Everybody's been itching, missing football. So, yeah, I think it's a big deal because I expect our crowd to show up and show out for us.
How are third downs defensively facing the Lions different than they are from other teams? You know?
Yeah, it's been a challenge because they've been willing to run the football in those situations in the past. And I mean, obviously with Johnny Morton, new coordinator, but I wouldn't expect it to be too different. I just think you got to be ready to defend all 4 downs. And third down, sometimes you got to treat it second down, depending upon the situation.
Wondering what your opinion was on kind of the need for that emergency quarterback with the emergency quarterback policy you have, and how difficult is it to, now that the season has started, to develop a practice squad type QB when you're going about preparing for games every week?
Yeah, it's a big challenge because you know, it's just the time on task. So we'll have a plan for that, but yeah, it's not a great situation to be in if you have to get down to that position.
How do you hope to get Micah ready, Parsons ready mentally? Does he have to do extra work on the own or with coaches, or is it just go to the meetings and follow along and catch up on his
No,
own?
I mean, we've had a lot of meetings with him, so we're very fortunate. I would say he's got an extremely high football IQ. You can tell just sitting down with him for even in limited time, like this guy's a smart guy. So I don't think he'll have any issues. And certainly as you game plan, you kind of shrink your playbook. So you're pretty specific with what you're going to ask him to do. But I don't foresee that being a problem. I think he's got a high capacity, just a really smart guy.
Along those lines, what is the challenge of integrating him? So maybe Hafley wants to go add a few things, but you guys have the whole playbook, and so now like everybody else has to adjust to Micah's presence. Is there something?
Yeah, but I would say this. I think every week in this league, you game plan certain things. And you have game plan specific concepts, if you will, that are going to be, you know, just an addition to your normal defense.
It seems like Colby Wood's going to have an expanded role in the wake of this trade. Just what did y'all see from him during training camp to give y'all faith in him for?
Yeah, very consistent player, and it's not just the load doesn't just fall on him. It's the collective. It's all those guys, and you know, when you kept initially on our initial roster, we kept 6. Obviously, we're down to 5 now, but we feel confident in all those guys that they can go in there and get the job done.
You know, Ryan was pretty confident that, you know, Stackhouse and Brinson could help you out, but does it make you nervous? Because rookies have a hard time on the defensive line in general, don't they? You know, making that jump from college to the NFL.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it makes me nervous. You know, It's just, they gotta put in the work, and I think confidence comes through the preparation. So we expect those guys to go out there and have a good 3 days of practices and have a great walkthrough on Saturday and be ready to go play.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.